So we're about a month out from that time of year where families, drive and fly across the country to watch their kids walk across the stage and throw a funny-looking hat in the air. And I've been hearing a lot about, just changes in maybe just in perception of the strength of the labor market for new grads. But you guys talked to over 2,000 hiring managers. What takeaways did you have from those hiring managers in terms of what they are looking for in this graduating class?
So, our recent research revealed what I'll call five key trends for these college graduates who are planning to launch their career over the next few months. So, I'll go through them briefly here. So, the first trend is really around multiple interviews. Employers are typically conducting 4 interviews with an entry-level candidate before extending an offer and taking 5 weeks on average to actually complete the hiring process. The second trend we're seeing is around questions that gauge soft skills. And so that's different. So, 1 in 5 managers attribute their hiring mistakes to placing too much weight on technical skills. So as a result, situational questions are becoming more common now than ever. The other trend is around preparation and follow through. So beyond skills, managers said the following actions can tip the scales in an applicant's favor. Number one, researching the company. Number two, maintaining a respectable online presence, also called a digital footprint. And the third would be sending a thank you note after an interview. And then the last two trends, not a surprise on this one, it's around more in-office time. So less than 1 in 3 entry-level jobs are advertised as hybrid or fully remote. And then finally, the last trend is around hiring around the bright spots. College graduates can increase their chances of finding work by exploring roles in industries with the most jobs available.
We know that this is, right now, this is a historically strong job market. Although I have been hearing, I think there's a story in maybe the Times or the Journal about college grads, facing frustrations, having a tough time finding a role in their career or in their desired career path. Are we seeing anything along those lines that, hey, it is becoming challenging for graduates finding roles, or are those just one-off stories?
I mean, I'd call them one-off because here's the reality. There's still 9.9 million open jobs in the U.S., making it a really good time for new grads to launch their career. And don't forget, too, the unemployment rate for college-degreed workers was 2% last month, which is below the national rate. And so, listen, these professionals are the most sought-after candidates by employers right now in today's market.
Speaking of sought after, are there specific areas that you're seeing the most demand for in terms of, specialty areas?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple quick things. So some of the most in-demand entry-level roles could be software developer, system analyst, marketing manager, HR specialist, accountants, and internal auditors. The industries that sort of jump out right now: professional services, finance, manufacturing, healthcare, and then social assistance. And let's just go one step further, sort of tying it back to some of those soft skills. The top soft skills and traits that seem to be in demand or sought out for from employers, right? Professionals. You've got communication skills, someone who's self-motivated, is good at problem solving, also someone who desires and is comfortable with teamwork and collaboration, and then finally leadership and analytical thinking.
Corey, one that showed up on your list here that I just continue to hear about is the accounting industry. It seems as though fewer and fewer people have any desire to go into that industry, facing big shortages of people. What are you guys seeing on the Robert Half side of things in terms of supply and demand of accountants out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it depends on sort of what you're hearing and what you're reading, but I think the accounting and finance space is stronger than ever. And so I think the appetite that our clients have for bringing on staff and the difficulty that they're having identifying, attracting, and onboarding new talent tells me that it is still a very, very strong space right now.
Any ways that, or any tips that you would have for graduating seniors for really standing out among the workforce? I was meeting with some people the other night who just said, one way to stand out is just being at the office more regularly than your colleagues. Showing up is a big piece right now. What other tips would you have for graduating seniors? People entering the job market.
Yeah, well, for the first-time job seekers, those who are looking for their first job coming to college, I'll give you a few quick things as it relates to your search. Number one, pinpoint your priorities. Find out what matters most to you, whether that's a growth opportunity, whether it's company values. So that way you can really hone in and focus on what you're looking for. And so you should consider all deal makers and breakers, any potential compromises. I would recommend being proactive and purposeful. Make sure your resume and LinkedIn profile are current. Start applying for jobs if you haven't already, which obviously most people probably have. It's a really good idea to always customize application materials for every opportunity. And then this is a big one. Request an in-person interview if the role requires in-office work. This will give you a chance to get a feel for the commute, company culture, and also your potential colleagues. And then everyone should 100% be researching the companies and the people who they interview with. And then make sure you're practicing articulating your value as a professional and a potential employee.
Corey Adams from Robert Half talking to us about graduating seniors and the college application process and the job market that seems to be out there right now. Corey, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.